What's up, YouTube? This is Eddie Picasso, and this is Eddie P35 on this Friday, February the 22nd, 2019. And I got a little bit of a late start to it was my day off from working out, for putting in those running training exercises. And man, there's so much I want to cover. So this may be a little kind of a long rant, and I feel something at the edge of my nose. I don't know what that is, a pickle or something. Anyways, there was the South McAllen property tour, and that fun. Oh my gosh, so much going on, and luckily I know that all this effort that I've been putting into these videos, into getting comfortable in front of the camera, doing these live feeds and pushing as much content as I can, is actually creating a ripple effect where it's actually reaching people, and I'm super grateful for it, because I got a lot of commendations yesterday because of it. They're thanking me for the live feeds, and congratulating me on the live feeds and all the videos that I was doing. So I know that all the hard work is paying off. It's kind of like that quote that I mentioned before. It's kind of like you throw that rock into the water to create the ripples, so that eventually it'll reach the right people, the right audience. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. It's a patience, my friends, is what is patience is the key to life. And so that being said, it was just amazing. Met wonderful people. Do guest appearances with a lot of people on my live feed, so it's super awesome. And I got to do a podcast episode with a local influencer, which I was so grateful for, and I need to publish that episode today. So that's going to be wonderful. The other thing is, so I'm passing by a local raspa stand that had burned up previously, and they rebuilt it. That's a quick interruption, by the way. They renovated it, and they made it even better than the first time. And then when I woke up this morning on the Nextdoor app, I saw that they had tried burning it again, and they were investigating an arson case, and which it seemed kind of strange. So I kind of wanted to see what's going on there, and may come back and try to interview the actual South McAllen property. So I was super blessed, difference, and I'm actually have a little bit of presence now, so it's nice, and I need to capitalize on that and optimize it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yesterday I spent a lot of the night trying to catch up with all the content that I was trying to push out. Started to work. Welcome back, my friends. I got interrupted a little bit by I always lose signal in that same place for some reason. Anyway, so last night I started working on posting a job, an internship offer for a editor-in-chief position, social media editor-in-chief position, an internship, non-paid internship, just because it's going to be, well, it's temporarily non-paid, because I'm hoping that it's going to allow me, it's going to help me to push more content out, and eventually turn it into a paid internship or a paid job, a full-time job, a full-time gig. So if you know anybody who is excellent at this social media stuff and wants an opportunity to work with an up-and-coming rising star, that's me, by the way. Please reach out. I'd love to help. I'd love to help somebody and help them reach another level, because we can grow together. I know what I've got to do is just I need initially I was thinking I would say that I don't have the resources, but it's just a lack of resourcefulness, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's a lack of, I just need the right people. So it's not really a lack of resources, but resourcefulness, and that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get resourceful and get somebody on the team so we can grow together, and I can teach them what I know, which I know how to do. I just need help in doing it, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. And so yesterday I gave a live feed late after the property tour, just because, oh my god, it took so much energy for me to be out there and be socializing and networking and all that stuff on the property tour, that I came home drained, man. I was supposed to meet up with my friend David Olivares, and I didn't remember until I was actually in my hometown. And so I had to make it a point, like, dude, like this, like, guys, thanks for tuning in. This is what happened. I had to go home. It's my way of decompressing. As an introvert, it takes so much energy for me to be out there and doing these live feeds and being extroverted, artificially extroverted, and I had to come back and decompress and reflect. and to have some time to myself. And but it goes to show that sometimes you gotta play the cards that you're dealt. You gotta work with what you got, and you gotta do whatever it takes to make it happen. And that's kind of what it is for me on these live feeds and promoting and showcasing these this real estate stuff, this content, these podcast episodes, and all that good stuff. Because it's just something that we're living in an era where there's so much noise out there that it just takes so much more effort to actually get noticed, to actually push that content and have it reach the right people. And something that I've learned throughout this time, this journey that I've been on. And sometimes you just gotta make it happen, and that getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. You gotta get out of your comfort zone. There is no way to grow if you don't get outside of your comfort zone. If you stay in that comfort zone, then you're not going to learn anything new. You're not going to achieve anything more. You're not going to grow. Tony Robbins says that there's 6 human needs that we all try to achieve, and we all try to achieve the first 4 basic needs, which is the need for certainty, for stability, uncertainty, for excitement, love and connection, and for significance. And you're never going to reach fulfillment if you just keep aiming for those. You got to aim for the last 2, which are the needs of the soul, and that's the need to grow beyond yourself. And that requires getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of that not wanting to disappoint people, not wanting for people to make fun of you. Forget what people think of you. That's like, it's going to hold you back so much if you keep worrying about what people are going to think about you. Hey, thanks for tuning in, by the way. I just also have a viewer. Woo! First time in like, I don't know how long, but anyways, so the only way to grow is to get outside of that comfort zone. And you're never going to get out of that comfort zone if you're worrying about what people are saying about you, what people think about you, what they're going to say. And I had a real fun exercise when I was going through my live coaching and trying to break out of this shell of trying to do these live feeds. And my good friend, now turned friend, life coach, Tanner, he told me, well, what you got to do, try doing this and go record yourself doing funny noises. I think he made me grab my chest and say in a funny voice, "Oh, this is stupid. I know this is stupid," just because I think people are gonna make fun of me, something like that, right? And what I did is I'm always gung ho. I'm always going above and beyond. And so what I thought of doing was, man, I'm gonna post it on the Gladiators of Business Mastery page on Facebook. And so that's what I did. And that, thinking back on it afterwards, after the fact, is like, oh my gosh, I completely broke the pattern. Limiting belief is like, man, that's silly, me thinking that people are gonna be thinking of this of me when I just made a complete myself on purpose. And that's kind of what sometimes what you have to do. You got to get outside of the comfort zone and just go and be stupid. Just go and play dumb. Go do whatever you got to do so you can get over the fact of what people really think about you. And then once you think back on that moment, it's like, oh my gosh, it's just like silly. Like, why was I so worried about this? It's not so bad. And it's kind of where I'm at. Just the beginning of me actually just now getting comfortable with doing being in front of a camera and doing live feeds. If you go back to a lot of my videos, I freeze up a lot. It's like like I have brain farts all over, just because it's that nervousness, that fear of what people are gonna say or think of what's coming next. And I just I get into those that downward spiral, that limiting belief, those limiting stories, and it just completely breaks me down. And I have to kind of snap out of it and kind of improvise, do a little bit of improv. But that's kind of where I'm going with this, where you got to get out in order for you to grow, you got to get out of that comfort zone. You're never going to reach a level of excitement. You're never going to be able to fulfill one of those first four basic needs, like the need of uncertainty, of excitement, if you don't get out of the comfort zone. There's nothing more exciting than getting outside of your comfort zone and just letting it be, man. See what comes about. And so that's kind of what my live feed was about yesterday on Facebook, talking about that, and just being reaching that level of growth, or fulfilling the level or that need on growing beyond who you are now. And the last need of the soul is the need for contribution yourself, to be more, to give more, to do more for other people, to give before you. A lot of times you don't have. John Maxwell says that you cannot give what you do not have, and so for that reason alone, it's kind of like a circle. It's a cycle. You got to grow yourself to be able to give yourself, and so you will automatically fulfill those last two needs of the soul, to contribute and to grow. It's a never-ending cycle. You grow and you give, you grow and you give, you grow and you give some more, you grow and you give some more. So that's kind of where that's at right there. That's gonna be into that thought. And so moving on. So this morning, I woke up and this morning was gonna be one of those days that it was just like I'm beat. Yesterday it wore me out. I don't know if I could keep on doing this. It's one of those limiting belief stories, right? And all of a sudden I saw a video by one of my friends out in New York, and VJ, and I had interviewed him from a podcast episode previously, and it was interesting because it was like 5 a.m. He was doing his live feed, and it was kind of dark, and he had said something about Tony Robbins talking to him or something like that on the descriptions. Like, let me listen to this. What is this he had to say? And it turned out he had a dream about Tony Robbins calling him on the phone and telling him what is it that you want, and he said he wants to help people, and I think Tony asked him, well, what do you need to do that? And he says, well, I feel alone. I don't have anybody to do it with. And at that moment when he said that, like, oh my gosh, like it started moving me, like, dude, like it's again that limiting belief, that lack of resourcefulness. Like you've got so many ties to the business mastery community, to Tony Robbins people, and a lot of people are high caliber people. And it's like hearing him, this guy's like a multimillionaire. He started from like he started with I think like 28 cents in his pocket when he came to the US, and he grew it into a multi-million-dollar business, and then and now he's like got like 4 or 5 businesses now. And to hear him say those words is like, oh my gosh, dude, like I wish I was in your spot and I could be doing so much more. But anyway, so that was just going through my mind, and so I reached out and I was like, hey, VJ, so what's next for you, man? And he said, well, I want to help a lot of people. Well, that's great, but how are you going to do that? And he replied, I'm going to create a massive action plan. I'm going to take massive action, and I can't remember what else. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. So what's the next step? Like I was trying to like get it out of. It seems like he's hitting that wall, that obstacle of him. He's inside his own head, and it's hard to get out of that. It's hard to brainstorm and brain dump if you're on that limiting belief. I know, because it happens to me so much. My limiting belief a lot is my resources, my money. I don't have the money to do. And I have to like break that limit, that interrupt that pattern in order for me to get out of like, wait a minute, I've got these people, I know these people. And so I reached out to him. That was the first thing, and I actually have a call set up with him in a couple of hours. We're going to talk about it a little bit and brainstorm and see if we can work on something together, because it's definitely something that is in my passion, that I want to help. I think it's in all of our hearts, all of the Tony Robbins community, and I think it would be great. I've been talking to another buddy, Leo Lesh, who's got access to like so many amazing people, and he's also been trying to find a way to do it. And I kind of tell him like, dude, like you're in LA, you got access to, like literally he's best friends or friends with a lot of famous people, and it's like, dude, you got like access to all these people. What the hell are you doing, man? Like I wish I had that. And it's again my own limiting beliefs, and I wish I had that. But I do have access to all these people by third or fourth not generation, but third or fourth circles of influence. Like not me, but the people next to me know people that are influencer or whatever. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. And it's like, dude, if we could just put all this together and stop with these limiting stories, limiting beliefs, then maybe we can get somewhere. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So this morning I thought about Leo first off because of my conversation with VJ. And I remember that there's a buddy of mine locally who's a John Maxwell team member, who's big into isogenics, which is what Leo's into, and he's actually been a finalist on that contest, that isogenics contest. He's been a model and all this stuff, and now he's got a podcast where he's interviewing local influencers, and I kind of want to get them together because I think they have a lot in common, and I think that Isaac can share a lot of a wealth of knowledge to him and show him how he's doing it, because it's like he's got access to like the same type of people, just on a little slightly bigger scale. And it's like, oh dude, like I wish they can get together so Isaac can tell him how he's doing it, how he did it to get to where he's at right now, because he's doing wonderful. And I'm actually waiting to hear back, so if he doesn't call me back, my big thing, I'm big on persistence, so if he doesn't get back to me, I'm gonna call him back and pretty much stalk him until he answers me, because I really want to get them together. I think they have so much potential, and I think they can benefit from each other. So that's that. At the same time, when I was talking, so many, so the Lord works in mysterious ways, and this kind of, this is where it's all gonna come together. It's gonna come. Hey, what's up? I think I lost you there for a minute. So many stories. I got a message that somebody from Pakistan wanted me to go to Pakistan and preach, like out of all things, like preacher, man, like I can't even leave the U.S. But anyway, so and we couldn't connect, just timing, and grateful for what he said. He told me some of my guys like. Hey, welcome back. I think I lost you. I actually arrived at my appointment, but let me finish off my thought real quick. Where was I? Um, Trying to back up. I thought I heard somebody. Anyways, so and also, and I'm grateful for him to see that. Is like I know what he's talking about, that infinite intelligence giving me those, laying that hand on me, and having more of a plan for me. 9/11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, to prosper you and not harm you, to give you hope and a future." And that's kind of, I know that's what he's trying to say. Like there's something for me. There's a plan ahead of me, and I just was so grateful to get his blessings. And we tried to actually connect. We couldn't connect, and then I got busy, took a shower, started doing my priming exercises, and then all of a sudden, I remembered that I hadn't read my verses of Proverbs this morning. I hadn't done as part of my priming. That usually it's the last thing I do on my priming exercises. And I opened the Bible and I started reading through it. And about 3/4 of the way done, all of a sudden he calls me on Messenger, and it's like, we're trying to connect now on Messenger. We haven't been able to do so just because of the video connection. So I told him, like, I don't think video is going to work, but we can try voice. So I'm currently trying to set that up. I don't expect much from that conversation. It's just, Pakistan is just a world away. I don't know. You never know. I guess that's my limited stories all over again. But anyways, I want to see what that comes out to. I don't know. It's interesting. They're in Pakistan, and it's Christian religion too. Like, well, the one that reached out, I looked through his profile and I saw it kind of interesting. And I saw, like, man, I don't know. Let's see what comes out of this. So that's my rant for today. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope that you got something out of this. Anything, any memory, I would. I hope so. I hope that resonates with somebody. Please like, comment, and share on this video if you like that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay frosty, my friend.